You haven't already done so? Silence your phone.
I have silenced it, yes.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Garfield Bowen.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. So you're looking for a realtor agent? Well, one may be closer than you think. Today we have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Paul Johansen with the Corcoran Group. Paul, how you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
Listen, we're excited to learn all about you and your business. Tell us about your company.
As you mentioned, I am a real estate agent. Actually, my official title is associate broker, according to New York State. But we work in New York City. My focus is Manhattan and Brooklyn. We really kind of focus on both the buy side and the sell side. So pretty much any transaction you want, and have kind of evolved over the years into more of an advisory role. So I'll get questions not only from clients on residential real estate, but commercial real estate, investments, the whole host of items.
I know there's a lot of exciting things going on in the real estate world now. There's a lot of changes going on. How did you get into this business?
Yeah, that was, I don't think there's anyone that came right out of college. Actually, you know what? There probably are now that like Netflix has shows and Bravo had shows and people are a little bit more aware of it, but that's not how I came to it. I actually started my career as a bond trader, a mortgage bond trader. So I got to know the mortgage part of the business and did that for a while, and then left and got into financial technology. Enjoyed that run, and then started my own marketing consulting firm. And all that was wonderful, but I kept failing what I'll call the mirror test. And it's either a conscious or a subconscious test that I would take. And when I woke up in the morning and would look in the mirror, was I inherently happy with myself, what I was doing, my job? Was there a sense of fulfillment? And finally, I became honest with myself and said, no, there really wasn't. So I did a little internal soul searching, tried to figure out when I was really kind of fulfilled. And it happened to be when I was back in college managing a bar. And the basis of that was I was helping people. I wasn't looking at spreadsheets. I wasn't doing budgets. I was just helping people. So I overlaid that into, okay, how can I meet those needs, but make a living? Because I do live in New York City and rent and mortgages are not cheap. So I saw real estate and I jumped in, and I wish I made the decision years ago.
Yeah, I know the Corcoran is associated with the infamous Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank, but and I know in terms of real estate, they say everybody's a realtor, so to speak. But what are some of the myths and misconceptions?
Yeah, I guess the biggest misconception is kind of the standard one that, they're there just to kind of open doors. And you hear this from every real estate agent. I would kind of frame it this way. The biggest misconception is that the buyer or seller is always in complete control, not the agent. And I say that because we've seemed to have entered into a time where the initial engagement sometimes with an agent is through one of those large portals. Let's just say one of the ones that starts with a Z. And the way they frame the engagement is that you have been assigned to an agent. That's never the case, right? So the real misconception is that people have choice and they don't have to work with any particular agent. They should be working with the agent that they identify with and they feel comfortable with.
Now, we talked about you focusing on Brooklyn and Manhattan. Who are your target audience and how do you attract them?
Yeah, so my business has been almost 95% referral. And I got a great piece of advice when I first started, and it was simplistic but poignant. It was make sure that every client feels as though they are your only client. And so I have focused on that. And in the beginning, started to get too many clients. And I remember a look in one of my clients' eyes was one in which they weren't really getting the service that they deserved. And I cut back on the scaling of my business to make sure that I wasn't taking on too much. That has actually transcended itself into a profile of a lot of townhouse clients. So people who are looking for that townhouse dream in Brooklyn or in Manhattan. And then it's even gone to first-time buyers. Oftentimes I get phone calls from dads or moms saying they want to buy a place for their son or daughter, or their son or daughter are looking to buy a place. And if I could help them through that entire process.
Yeah, I happen to be a big Shark Tank fan, and I remember Barbara saying how she's instrumental in terms of moving the real estate into technology. Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast?
I have never thought about doing my own podcast. I have many people who are telling me to get in front of the camera more. I just haven't made that leap. I can't predict the future, but I really do appreciate the podcast world that's opened up, just to be able to see different people from all over the globe and what their thoughts are and their takes are. I think it's been pretty cool.
So, Paul, when you're not busy doing real estate, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, the real estate agent's job is literally 24/7. And I think your family has to know that before you get into it. But living in New York, fun would be obviously enjoying the city, but I actually have a ski house a few hours outside. I've been skiing since I was 2 years old. So we get up there as often as we possibly can. And just to be on the mountain in the open breeze is amazing. And I've also picked up fly fishing, not something you often do. Not a lot of fly fishing stores in New York City, but there are quite a few lakes and streams outside of the city. And just to be able to kind of put the waders on and have the stillness of fly fishing in opposition or juxtaposition to the busyness of my job has been absolutely wonderful.
We're about run out of time, but I want to tell our listeners one thing. We would narrow it down to one thing they should remember about the Corcoran Group. What would that be?
I would say she promoted a wonderful sense of family. There was truth to their word, and that prompted trust all around, and it's provided a sense of family, which has been great.
I know a lot of our listeners now or have friends or family that's looking to buy or sell a home, and they have one word on their lips right now, and it's how. How can I get more information in contacting Paul at the Corcoran Group?
Sure. I've got a website, johansenteam.com. You can go on the Corcoran website. You can search me on Instagram. I will just say one thing. If you are looking to be able to buy or sell, just trust your gut. If you don't feel comfortable in a conversation, go on to someone else.
Well, Paul, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Wish you and your business the very best moving forward.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnplive.com. That's gnplive.com.